Hello and welcome to the ninth episode of Dead Flesh Retro Plays Fish by Magnetic Scrolls. My name is Chris. I don't know who that Dead Flesh Retro person is.
And my name is Lee, and that Dead Flesh Retro person is you, my friend.
What? Before we do this intro, I'm just going to announce that I'm all out of fish puns.
I'm floundering.
I know, I'm all at sea. If you listen to this and enjoy it, please let us know, or even join a future live session on YouTube and comment while we're playing.
On with the show.
All right, welcome everybody to episode 9. If you could all introduce yourselves once again, say hello.
Hello, I'm Lee.
Hi, I'm Swandies.
Hi, I'm
Hi,
Rosie.
and hi, I'm Woody.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Cool. So, yeah, we haven't played for 2 weeks. So we've been jonesing to get stuck into some of the puzzles finally in Hydropolis. But would anyone care to just give us a quick recap of what we've discovered in Hydropolis so far?
Well, I will try to remember. So we went on the tube and we went all the way around so that we could look at all the stations. And then we went to the university because we had a meeting with the principal. And we had the meeting, and then we went into our lab and we found a water teleporting device thing, we think. And then in the store cupboard, there is a list of missing parts. And we think that these are the parts that we need to find to repair the machine.
That's right, there is. And I have the list here. So hopefully you can see that on the YouTube feed. Item 1 was a filter. Item 2 is a photon bridge. Item C is a focus wheel, which presumably is the thing that we found in 3 parts in the prologue. Item D is a tuned crystal, which makes me think that we find a crystal somewhere and then need to figure out how to tune it. A suitable case, which we think we may already have found in the second-hand shop, because there's an empty radio case there. And item F is a shelf, which could be the shelf, the trendy black shelf that's in our apartment. And item G is this wall plan, which is the only thing that actually is in stock. So
It's quite funny how self-referential it is that the wall plan is listed
yes,
on the wall plan. My only thought about the tuned crystal, of course, is that in a world of fish, if we have a crystal, then we need to find a tuna.
oh dear.
Oh, dear, oh dear.
All right, yeah, let's bear that in mind. There's a few other things to bear in mind, actually. I did make a little list, which I've now lost or forgotten. One of the things was I found confirmation that bright lights and noises will pull us out of the host parasite interface, because it actually mentions this in the interdimensional espionage operative manual that comes with the game. I haven't read all of the manual. I really should. We all should. It would be helpful. But it actually specifically mentions that that is one way of breaking the interface. So that's confirmed. And then Woody last time also suggested that perhaps the disco that we spotted, which if I move the map over here, is to the north where we arrive, is going on all day because it's rag week. And yeah, we may need to wear the dark glasses and the ear plugs to go in there. But that is something that we could experiment with. We could go and just walk into the disco and see what happens. I'm quite tempted to do that.
We do not have
This,
the earplugs
this
nor the glasses.
No, we don't have them. No, I know. But what I'm suggesting is we go in there without them to see what happens. Right? Like just to prove the negative. And then
Yeah,
start again and go and pick them up and then go in properly, because it won't take that long, will it? Although we might, you're right. I mean, we might have to. Oh, we could always save it and then go and buy them. I suppose that would be the sensible thing to do. I also, for those watching the YouTube, I tweaked the map. So This is the best I can do in terms of how everything's laid out. So you can see, actually, if we go right back here, we can see these are the areas in the prologue. And then this is where we arrive in our apartment. Here's the hallway down to the lobby, and then Paddlington Station. And then we go past Barbican, which we can't get off at. We then get to Pickerel. There's Battersea, and then Opar University, and then Angel, and then it hooks up again with Eelpout, which we can get to cross country, if you like, or by walking from Pickerel. And then the final station is Museum before it returns to Paddlington. So we have some places to explore. What do we fancy doing?
I've written down lock screw. Anyone know why?
Yes, lock screw.
Yeah, one of the things on the list.
One of the things that needed a
Oh no, it was the machine, wasn't it? The machine
needed
the
lock screw, so we needed the screwdriver.
That's right, the hyperdriver. So yes, in the project room is a thing called the device, and inside the device is a stream accelerator, and the stream accelerator has a lock screw. We don't really understand how any of this stuff works yet, though. We also found a protocopier, which is a prototype device for teleporting water from somewhere else to Hydropolis, but it doesn't work very well. And it got someone fired, didn't it? Professor Salmon or someone.
Oh, that's right. And the machine had been sabotaged by one of our juniors, who had been taken over by one of the deadly Finns. And so we were saying we might need to figure out who that is.
That's right. And we do have the project terminal in the lab, which connects us to the university computer, but we haven't figured out how to use that either. There's also the library that we haven't been to. We haven't explored there, and we haven't tried going into the restaurant. So those are all options. And we also haven't tried using our tatty pass on the metal door to the north of the foyer. So.
Shall we have a wander and just try it all out?
Yeah, I reckon.
Do we think that we are currently under a time limit?
That's a good question. I mean, it's possible that we're going to get pushed in front of a train. But then maybe that time limit started when we failed to get to the meeting.
Yeah. When we had the meeting with the principal, there was an implication that we should hurry up. But whether that's actually linked to a definitive timeline, I don't know. There's certainly nothing that I can think of at the moment where we haven't been told we've got 10 moves or do something by
No,
11.
not at all. I mean, there's also a small chance that the principal has been kidnapped by students as well. So
That's true.
I'm sure that was just the student trying to get money off you, wasn't it, for Rag Week?
yeah, well, you say that, but we were also passed by students with what looked like the principal at one point, and it occurs to me that may have been the principal. Obviously, you think, well, it's just the principal, the school principal, with some students trailing behind, but it could equally well have been some students literally holding the principal aloft and running off with them. So, I don't know. There's some kind of student Rag Week shenanigans going on as well that I think we're going to have to deal with possibly. But anyway, let's go and have a look in the library, shall we?
Yes.
Right. Have to insert the tatty card into the slot before leaving our laboratory. We're in the corridor. We're in the corridor again. I think it's south from here, is it? Yes, library. And sounds like there's a new image. Library. Containing the sum total of fish knowledge, this library is the best in all Hydropolis. As fish only have small brains, it is on the smallish side, but students spend a lot of time here delving into what knowledge there is, even during Rag Week. The library's rarest book lies on a lectern close to the exit in the north wall.
Investigate book.
We can have a look at the image, and it shows the inside of the library with books lining shelves along the walls, and we're obviously looking at it from the entrance because there's a kind of a part of a lectern in view with a book on it, showing a page with writing on the left and a fish on the right, which presumably is the most valuable book. Is that what it call it? The rarest book. Okay, well let's X book. The book is illustrated with many wondrous things from ages gone by. Perhaps you should look some of them up. It's closed. Open book. You open the book at random, revealing a full colour picture of a t-shirt on page 256. Open page 100. You can't do that to the page. Look up Guppy. You search through the book, but the page you want has been torn out. Okay, so we can look up things that we know about in this book.
Do we know what page number is missing?
No, I don't think. I think that the page has been torn out. It's just a generic comment that means that the thing that we searched for is not one of the things that we can look up. Right, because I just looked up Guppy. I just looked up something random that came to mind.
How about look up tuned crystal?
All right, let's try look up crystal. No. Focus wheel. You turn to page 158, revealing a full colour picture of a focus wheel.
Can you read it?
Examine page 158. There is a full colour picture of a focus wheel on page 158. Read page 158. Full colour picture of a focus wheel. X picture of focus wheel. No. Examine focus wheel. There's a full colour picture of a focus wheel on page 158. Okay, well let's try the other things then. Look up filter. No. Look up photon bridge. No. Tuned crystal. No. Proto. What was it called? Copier.
Protocopier, yeah.
No.
I guess maybe this is useful if we come across the name of an item and we don't know what it looks like.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, we also need to do the one thing that you always do when you come across this sort of book. We should look ourselves up. And maybe look the fins up as well.
So look up roach. Doesn't work. Look up fins. No. Look up 7 deadly fins. No, I don't follow you. He doesn't understand that full sentence. You notice several students loitering with intent. One of them produces a guitar and starts singing, "Come on, feel my nose. The girls grab my clothes. Oh, go why anymore?" Oh no, he started busking. Luckily, the other students attacked and carry him off before you hear too much. The same messages we got in the music shop. Okay, well, I don't think we can look ourselves up. And I don't think we can look the fins up. Look up me. Doesn't work.
I guess we just need to remember that this is here.
Yeah.
At some point it will, maybe it's
Might be
Use
helpful.
will.
I tried to get the book, and it says suddenly a student attacks you. Don't do that, he snarls, pushing you out into the corridor. So we can go to the library to look stuff up. I would quite like to know how the terminal works. I'm just going to just try to look up terminal. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Right.
I mean, it feels like the terminal is quite similar to the book. We didn't really spend a lot of time experimenting with the terminal.
No, we didn't. Rather than do that now, I might do that before next week. I might just go and, if everyone's happy, just do some figuring out how to use it. I'll also read the manual as well, in case it actually just tells us how to use it.
It might literally be a page in there that says terminal instructions are as follows.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's go and check the metal door out then. Insert TASI card in slot. A student notices you trying to open the door and beckons you. Dr. Salmon's the only one who's got an ID card for the research wing, she says helpfully. He's probably in town getting drunk as usual. She trudges off, muttering, they should never have taken him off the project. Ah. Do you remember it saying, when we went into the pub, that there was a punter in there that appeared to recognise us?
It was probably him.
Yeah. I thought at the time maybe it was Chubb that we'd followed in there, but it did seem a strange thing to say about Chubb. But yeah, maybe Salmon is the person we need to buy snifters for.
And get his card off of him.
And get his card off him.
To the restaurant.
Yes, to the restaurant. I'm presuming we can't go south into the principal's office anymore, can we? No. The principal's not available at the moment, Dr. Roach. Her secretary informs you. I'll tell her you called. She shows you out to the foyer. So, we go outside. The statue of the university founder is in the middle of the quad. The statue is interesting as well. If we examine it, it just gives the university motto, Scientia est bona. But, yeah, I don't know. Restaurant. New image. Bursting to the gills, this restaurant serves the finest plankton meals in Hydropolis. For the fabulously wealthy, gas-impregnated oils are on sale. They may not be as efficient as snifters, but they certainly put everyone else in their place. A waiter floats around near the exit to the north. And there's an image of a couple of very fish-faced people, fish people sitting at a table and drinking wine and eating a nice dinner. Okay, let's have a look at the waiter. The waiter bows and scrapes to every customer in the restaurant.
There's much to do in here, is there?
No.
It seemed like it. Examine oils. The oils are much denser than the water, so they sit at the bottom of the glass, just like in the picture.
I was actually going to point that out in the picture.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well, actually. You know, it just looks like a normal scene, except it's underwater, obviously. Everything is underwater, so yeah, how is the wine staying in the glass? But it's oil. It's gas impregnated oil, which is heavier than water. I'm going to try buying oil with Visa card. The waiter looks around at you and notices that you are not eating. I'm terribly sorry, sir, he says apologetically, but our license doesn't allow us to sell drinks except with meals, so really should have booked first. Okay, so if you want some of that oil for whatever reason, if you want something that's heavier than water for whatever reason, we might need to book a table somehow. We could try that. Ask waiter to book table. Waiters, I don't know where that is. Can we just book table? No. Ask waiter for table. Wait, it says I don't know. Okay. Unless anyone's got anything to suggest. It's possible that we discover that someone else has a booking and come and use their booking. Or it may be that it's just a red herring and it's not useful at all. I don't know.
Can we just steal the oil?
Just take it. The waiter won't let you.
So we do have a sense of time in this zone because we do have a watch. So maybe if we came back later when it was closed or something.
And then we presumably have to break in somehow. Okay, I'm going to save here and then see what happens if you walk into the disco. Okay. That was not the right thing to do. The flashing lights blaze into the host parasite interface, stunning you for a moment. You just manage to stagger outside before the interface disintegrates completely. That was close. Okay, so despite all of the warnings, it doesn't actually let us kill ourselves by wandering into the disco.
I guess we get back on the tube and go and investigate somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, the next stop is Angel, so should we just go to Angel and have a look around?
Yeah.
Okay. We've got on the tube. Mind the doors, the train clatters off into the tunnel. Nobody pushed us in front of a train, thankfully. So let's wait. Clatters into Angel. Leave train. You try to push your way through the doors. You can't quite make it in time. Okay, so we can't get off at Angel.
I think it feels like some of these tube stations where we can't get off are probably joined to ones where we can get off, and then at some point we might be able to get back on again at these stations, so they're one way essentially.
I mean, possibly. I mean, so far we haven't been able to get off at Barbican and we haven't been able to get off at Angel. But I mean, when we look at the map, I mean, obviously, unless I've completely misdrawn it, they don't seem to be connected. Like there's all of the stations and areas we've been in between. But I guess we'll try and get off at Museum, and then we'll try and get off at Battersea. And then if none of that works, we'll get off at Eel Pout, say, and go and buy the things we need to get in the disco. I suspect that it's not letting us get off at these stations because it's kind of limiting our range until we've solved a few things. Otherwise, the game would be so hard if there's just, 2 or 3 times as many locations and objects to figure out. But let's see. Let's try and get off at Museum. Wait. Eel Pout. Museum. Okay. Looks like we can get off at Museum. So I'm going to go up. You show your pass to the guard and go through. Museum Station. The station is the oldest in Hydropolis. The decoration reflects more decadent times when men were men, fish were fish, and they got together to build underground stations. An exit leads north to the museum, while a funnel leads down to the platform. And the image has just changed to the tube train. So let's go north. Museum. And there's a new image. Visited by many fish over the course of a year, the museum is a great attraction. Maybe this is due to its unique collection of Piscean relics, the greatest of which is the skeleton of the bloody enormosaur, which has pride of place in the centre of this room. You can explore the museum in your own time by going north, east or west. You can return to the station by swimming south.
We've basically come into the Natural History Museum, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Okay. So northeast or west, wasn't it? Let's try going west. You swim lazily into an exhibition of historic gravel, showing many pieces of gravel around which great and important events have centred. It doesn't interest you in the slightest, so you swim back east. Okay, let's try east. You swim through an exhibition of the use of gravel in modern science. The indigenous fish scientists have managed to produce materials so cunning that even though they aren't really gravel, they behave in almost exactly the same way. Not entirely impressed, you swim back east. Okay. North. Alarm room. So not an exhibition about gravel then. White rooms always have had a bad effect on you. If the authorities had their way, your laboratory would have been white. But you were firm. You put your tail down and refused. This room is white, and you don't like it. It leads north to the museum's finest exhibit, and south back to the museum. Okay, it's just called alarm room. Not entirely sure why.
We might need sunglasses to deal with the white room.
Maybe. I mean, it hasn't said anything about our host-parasite interface.
Can we go through it to get to the finest exhibition?
Yes, I think we can. Let's try going north. I'm not sure why it's called alarm room. Maybe it's just alarming to me, or to us, rather.
Could it be if we carry something out through there, it sets the alarm off?
Yeah, that is possible. Okay. North to the museum's finest exhibit. Let's try. Bells, hooters and whistles sing out from all over the museum, bringing guards rushing to the crystal room. You try to explain that it was an accident, that you just stumbled. Amazingly, the guards believe your story, though they do look a bit suspicious as they deposit you back at the station and go back to their various posts.
Well, we found the crystals.
We found the crystal, yeah.
A bit in there.
And presumably why it's called the alarm room.
Yes.
So would that just happen by us trying to go into the exhibition?
It looks like.
So there's another thing that might be time dependent. We might need to wait until the museum closes and then break in, and then you can get to a room without the guards being there.
Or we need a pass, or a kipper time.
Or just die. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just read this again carefully. Alarm room. White rooms have always had a bad effect on you. If the authorities had their way, your laboratory would have been white. So presumably it's talking about Dr. Roach, not us, the parasite. But you affirm, you put your tail down and refused. This room is white and you don't like it. It leads north to the museum's finest exhibit and south back to the museum. If you try going north, bells, hooters and whistles sing out from all over the museum, bringing guards rushing to the crystal room. You try to explain that it was an accident, that you just stumbled. Amazingly, they believe you. And then put you back at the station.
Did we stumble because we were all discombobulated from all the white?
Well, I don't think we did stumble, did we? We tried going north. We pretended that we stumbled and fell north.
We need the sunglasses to walk through that room, just or maybe not to.
I don't think that will stop the guards coming though.
No, that's true.
I think just going north, I think, is setting an alarm off. So something is in the white room. Let's have a little look in the white room. See if we can. We didn't look at the image actually, and the image is when we get to the museum. It basically shows a dinosaur skeleton, a bloody enormosaurus, and the picture on the wall of what looks like a dolphin or oceanic dinosaur of some kind jumping out of the water. Let's go back into the museum and into the alarm room. Just have a look at the walls. The wall rests on the floor and holds up the ceiling. That's not helpful. Examine the north exit. No, it says, what do you want to examine out?
Examine alarm?
There is no such alarm. Curious. Okay.
Just something else to bear in mind, I guess.
Yep. I don't think we can do much from here. So we're back on a train. the next stop is going to be Paddlington. Let's go past that. Barbican. I'm assuming we still can't get off at Barbican. But let's try anyway. Nope. So Battersea is the next one, isn't it? Pickerel, and then Battersea. Battersea. Leave train. Okay, we can leave the train at Battersea. So let's go up. You show your pass of the guard and go through. Battersea. Battersea is a place of dreams. The station was built many years ago to encourage visits by tourists. Regular tours around the complex leave from the north. An access funnel leading down is fished by a guard who is checking tickets, or would be if there were any to check, but the ticket clerk hasn't sold any. Okay, and the image is of Battersea Station, the actual Battersea Station in London. Battersea Power Station. So, tours around the complex leave from the north. Let's go north. Welcome to Battersea Power Station. You are met by a tall tour guide who appears to be chewing gum and reading notes off little cue cards. She takes you on a guided tour of the entire plant, filling your head with facts and figures about throughput, power consumption and blades. One thing that stuck in your mind was the interesting but little-known fact that Battersea is only the secondary power station for Hydropolis and is only used during peak demand and to power the underground system. After about half an hour, she returns you to the power station. Power station. The power station dwarfs almost anything you have ever seen. Guided tours leave from the north, so the citizens of Hydropolis can marvel at this fish-made wonder and the sophistication of their engineers. A steel door lies to the west near an important gauge and a large switch.
So tempting.
Do we need to pull the switch or save game first?
Definitely save games first. Save game first. What did you say, Lee?
Oh, it's like a red rag to a bull, isn't it? There's a large button here with a sign that says "Do not press."
Yeah. Okay, well let's just look at everything.
Yeah, well, Chris, just quickly, I'm a bit confused as to what the navigation was, because we were in the foyer of the power station. We went north to do the guided tour.
Yes.
And it said it returns you to the power station, but now the power station is different because there's a steel door there. So I wonder whether we actually did go north as far as it's concerned.
I suspect if we go south, we could try going north. We'll probably do the tour again, and if we go south, we'll go to the station. Let's just try this out.
I actually think that we are in the location which is north, but the first time we got there, we went on the tour. Still in that same location now.
Yeah.
So the next time we come here, we'll just go straight into here and we won't go on the tour again.
That's what I think. Yeah, I mean, I can go north and south here and see what happens. Let's... If we go north, welcome to Battersea Power Station. So we do the whole tour again.
So the tour is basically just bumping us back down into the room again.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Examine the gauge and stuff.
Yeah. The important gauge shows the total electricity output of the Battersea substation. It is currently displaying a value of 100. Examine switch. The switch is just like those seen in 50 science fiction movies, requiring both hands to turn it on or off. It controls the power supply to the whole of the tube system at the moment it is on.
Is there a newer image as well there?
Yeah, so we're looking at the inside of Battersea Power Station, and we can see the gauge on the wall and the big power switch, which is it's like a lever with on at the top and off at the bottom. Just to the left of it is what looks like a tube map, and we're kind of on a gantry above the floor of the power station, and a long way below is what looks like a tour party just leaving. And there's a fish person at the end of the gantry that we're on as well. So
This explains a lot about disrupted travel around London, that members of the public can just turn the power
yes,
off whenever they like.
there's zero security here.
That's a bloke. He'll stop us.
Let's examine the steel door. The steel door opens automatically when the pressure from the turbines in the area to the west falls below danger level. For safety reasons, it cannot be opened by hand. It is closed. When the pressure from the turbines in the area to the west falls below danger level.
So you need to turn the power station off to be able to open the door.
Only there was some kind of switch.
Okay, if you go west, it says the pressure door is closed to protect fish like you from swimming into the proximity of the fast-moving blades which lie beyond. You may not appreciate this extra protection, but I'm sure Dr. Roach is delighted. So, presumably we have to turn the switch off to go west. So, I suggest we save the game. And pull the damn switch. With great effort, you manage to pull the switch. The light dims momentarily, and the guppies on the guided tour scream until everything returns to normal. The important gauge shows a considerable drop in current.
Try the door.
The gauge says the important gauge shows the total electricity currently displaying a value of 39.
Is this a pun on the word current, by the way?
It is currently displaying the value of 39.
I know I meant because current as in like straight running water.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. It's possible. We can't open the steel door because it's automatic. But we can pull the switch again.
That'll just turn it back on again. What happens if we wait?
I've turned it on and back off again. Let's have a look at the gauge now. 39. Let's wait. 39. It's staying at 39. If I pull the switch again, the gauge is at 100. We can only get it down to a value of 39, it seems. But we do know that there's another power station somewhere.
Yeah, or some kind of backup generator or system or something in this. Add it to our list of mysteries.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're kind of at the limit now, aren't we? There's nowhere else we can go.
We could start trying to collect some of the items, go and see if we can unscrew our shelf, get the case.
Yeah.
Try.
Yeah, I agree.
Go to the disco.
Yeah, so we could go into the disco. We can see if Salmon is in the pub and try and get him pissed. We can go and buy a screwdriver and try and take our shelf off the wall. I think we should do the first two. I think we should go and buy the earpieces and the sunglasses, and on the way we'll go into the pub and see if we can find Salmon in there.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay, I'm going to leave the switch where it is. I'm not going to put it back up to 100. Am I?
That might mean that the underground doesn't
It
work.
doesn't work.
Yeah, okay. I'll
I wonder if the ability to disable the tube would allow us to swim down the tunnel and access.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, at the moment, we just can't get off because there's too many pilchards on the tube. But I don't know if we could actually swim from one station to another station through the tube. I don't know. Let's get on the tube. Okay. North. Okay. Right, so we're back on the tube, back on the train. We're going to Opa University. We'll go round to Eel Pout and get off there. Angel. Eel pout. Leave train. Up. Okay. Northwest is Shark Street. So we've got the hardware shop, second-hand shop, and the music shop. South. Okay. Buy earplugs with Visa card. Okay, we have the earplugs. Wear them. You put on the earplugs. The earplugs don't work too well. You can still work out what people say. Okay. Shall I go and get the screwdrivers?
Yeah, I think that's sensible.
Hardware shop. Oh, assistant offers to sell you a black plastic bag. Forgotten about that.
I wonder if that increases our encumbrance.
Oh, that could be. Yes, I do have it noted down.
Might as well.
Yeah, I'll buy it. Buy bag with Visa card. 5 clams? 2 clams! Okay, we now have a bag. Buy screwdriver. Eight clams. And the hyperdriver. 99 clams. Okay, we bought it. We clearly have a decent credit line. We're carrying a Fishofax, a tatty card, a travel pass, a screwdriver, a hyperdriver, and a bag. We're wearing a watch and some earplugs. Put all in bag. Fishofax is now inside the bag. The tatty card is inside the bag. The travel pass, the screwdriver won't fit. The hyperdriver won't fit. And putting things that we're wearing in a bag is a strange concept. Okay, so those were not the things that I was expecting to put in the bag, but there we go. In the bag they are. Okay, let's go back to Shark Street, and then so north is the hardware shop. No, the second-hand shop. But that currently only has the case in it, doesn't it?
Oh
think
yeah,
so.
that's worth getting.
Shall I get it?
Could do.
Yeah.
There's a radio case here.
Where were the shades?
In the clothes shop.
With the kipper tie.
Oh, okay. Buy case with Visa card. Sorry, says Steve. I've already sold the radio case to a fish named Chubb, who lives in Paddlington. I'll get Rod to deliver it later on if the van's going that way. Otherwise, he'll have to wait.
So Chubb is our neighbour, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just say the radio case, I guess, is not a small portable radio. I guess maybe it's quite big.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, if it's a vintage one, maybe it's one of those kind of freestanding ones from like the 30s or something. But also, this gives us a reason to go into Chubb's apartment, right? This case is being delivered to Chubb, so we presumably have to get into his apartment to get it. I did think, like, when we were going through the list of items, like, well, a suitable case, that's very straightforward. We've literally just seen it for sale.
Yeah, I thought it was being nice, but no.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
Would have been just too easy, wouldn't it?
Far too easy.
They were never going to allow us that one.
No.
No. We don't know what the police station's for either. So I've just gone west from Shark Street. We're on the south side of Dace Road. The police station's to the south. And west across Place Street is a pub. So let's go to the pub.
We probably have to use the screwdrivers to break out of the jail we get put in for nicking the radio case.
Just a time warning, guys. 4 minutes to 8.
Oh, blimey. Okay, in the meantime, while we've been, mooching around, it looks like lots of people have gone to the pub. We're back at the hook, line and sinker, so all of the description is the same. There is a stool here. As you arrive, Bertie Bream, Ernest Chubb and Simon Tench greet you cheerfully. It does say in the opening, in the second line, it says the hook, line and sinker is a good old-fashioned boozer with a clean bar and filthy customers. One of them, a sorry drunk leaning unsteadily against the bar, seems familiar to your host. I bet that's Salmon. Let's have a look at, see if it uses drunk as a noun. Examine drunk. All washed up, Dr. Salmon is a no-good drunk. He hasn't been the same since he was taken off the project.
Is that the guy that has the pass to the research wing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so they fired him and not taken his access away. I mean, seriously, these people they deserve to be sabotaged by the Finns. But we've also got Bertie Bream, who I don't think we've ever met, but presumably that's another of our colleagues. So this is like all of the suspects. All the suspects end up in the pub, essentially.
Do you want to try and steal his card?
I mean, I want to ask him.
I guess you could buy him a snifter, couldn't you?
Yeah, but before we do that, that might just send him over the edge. Let's just ask him about the project. Says, I don't know anything about that. Ask Salmon about Finns? I don't know. Oh, about protocopier. The drunk says, I don't know anything about that. Ask Salmon about pass. I don't know anything about that. Doesn't know anything about much. Ask Salmon about principal? Nope. Ask Salmon about Chubb. Nope. Ask Chubb about Salmon. Ernest Chubb says the only good thing about Dr. Salmon's departure was we now have a morally stable leader for the project. He grins an obsequious grin. He was a brilliant man. It's a shame to see him wasting himself on snifters. Okay. Well, it appears like, we can ask Chubb questions and there's a fair number of things that Chubb will answer, but Salmon doesn't seem to answer anything at all. So maybe the only sensible thing we can do is get a snifter.
Do you want to ask Chubb about Bream and Tench?
Sure.
Maybe one of them has been acting suspiciously.
Ernest Chubb says, Bertie's an absolute genius. I know, because he told me himself. Oops. Oh, no, that is right, Chubb. About Tench. Tench is a fish who's a little far out, but he's fun to be with. Ask Tench about Chubb. Simon Tench says, Ernest's my coolest friend, a dude who knows where his mind is at. Ask Tench about Salmon. Simon Tench says, Dr. S is a real cool baby. He sniffs like the dude he ain't. Ask Tench about Bream. Bream's a real downer. He's too fast for his own mouth. Now ask Bream about Salmon. Bertie Bream says, let me see now. I would guess that drunk is the past participle of the verb to drink, though that doesn't mean too much to a fish. So we have borrowed the phrase to describe being under the influence of a snifter. Oh, that's interesting. It's assumed that I said ask Bream about drunk, but I didn't. I asked Bream about Salmon. But obviously Bream has nothing sensible to say about Salmon. About Chubb. Bertie Bream says, Ernest's a little dense, but he tries his best. About Tench. I hate Tench. He knows nothing about his work and spends too much time sniffing snifters with salmon, if you ask me. Okay. Buy snifter with Visa card. Okay, that'll be 5 clams, sir, etc. Give snifter to salmon. The drunk takes the mask, holds it to his face and inhales deeply. After several deep breaths, he returns the snifter to Steve. I needed that, he says. I'd give you a token of my thanks, but I'm destitute. Ask salmon for pass. But I don't have a pass, the drunk says.
Do we ask salmon where the pass is?
Or is it called card?
Yeah, ask salmon for card. Dr. Salmon lurches slightly. He reaches into his pocket and removes an ID card, a little like your own, but in much better condition. Surprised at his find, he hands it to you, saying, "Thanks very much."
Fantastic.
Yes! We solved the thing!
And it still didn't give us any points.
No points! Well, we have to, you know, we probably don't get points until we go and insert it.
Yeah.
But it's 8 o'clock. It's gone 8 o'clock, so that's it, guys.
Yeah.
It's a cliffhanger.
At least we got somewhere.
Finish on a high.
Finished
We
on a-
did. Yeah, we did get somewhere. Okay, so that opens up a new area to go and look at. And yeah, we still need to go and get the glasses. Maybe we'll stop off at our apartment and try and take the shelf off the wall. It kind of feels like there should be somewhere that we need to deposit all of these things as well. I'm not entirely sure where that is yet.
Well, in the storeroom, I would have thought.
What use are they in the storeroom? But I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe we just dump them in the storeroom and
It's a place to store them.
I think maybe we're supposed to build a thing on our lab. Like we have a lab, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're replacement parts, aren't they, for the machine?
Yeah.
For whatever the machine is, yeah. Yeah, or the device.
Right, yeah.
So maybe they're all things that we need to figure out how they all fit together with the flow accelerator or whatever it is. Anyway.
But it might turn out to be much more obvious. It might just be, well, we've got to have a shelf, and then you put the radio box on the shelf.
Yeah.
Then you put things in the radio box, and then you attach a crystal to the thing.
I'm sure it's going to be completely obvious, Mike, given our...
It will definitely be that easy.
Given the rest of the game, you're right.
All right, everybody. Right, that's it for this week. Tune in next week to see what's behind the metal door, I guess.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
See you next week. Bye.
Cheerio.
We did a win.
Who knew the most exciting part of the last hour would be conning a drunk chap out of his last piece of memorabilia of the job he loved and was so cruelly ejected from?
Yeah, it's weirdly satisfying now you put it like that.
Give us your card, you loser.
I can't wait to see what he's up to, though. Bring on next week.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.